On this edition of the show, we will be discussing innovation. No doubt, innovation is important in all industries, but in my opinion, it is of greater importance in the tech industry. And here's the simple reason. The tech industry moves and changes at supersonic speed, so it's either you innovate or be lost. My guest, I believe, will do justice to the topic, so don't miss that segment. Also on the show is a review of a number of budget smartphones. My name is Chukwemeka Agbata, and this is Tech Trends. Choosing the right antivirus. Now, it is very difficult to avoid viruses or malwares if you surf the internet on a regular basis, and that is why you need an antivirus installed on your system, or you stand a chance of being compromised. Now, but before I proceed, let me say that if you have noticed that your computer is running much slower than usual, or it's no longer responding as it ought to, then it may have been infected by a virus. You need to run a scan and eliminate the virus before it causes more damage. Now, you need to first of all decide if you want to spend money for your antivirus product, or you rather go with the free versions like me. Now, you will need to invest some money in a paid solution if you want an all-round protection. But in my case, I use a combination of 4 free antivirus solutions which have kept me safe over the years. So you don't actually have to spend any money to get solid protection online. Also, how you use your computer will dictate the level of protection you need. For example, a gamer will appreciate an antivirus software that recognizes when the games or media are being played and suppresses any non-essential alerts for such activities.
2 years ago, Shani Sharma suffered a double stroke and wasn't expected to survive. But with intensive rehab and sheer bloody-mindedness, she now leads a normal life.
I lost my speech. I lost the whole use of my left side, leg, arm, shoulder, hand, through intensive physio in a special rehab unit. I was retaught to walk and to use my arm and hand.
Now she's testing out Script, which is a robotic glove created by researchers led by Dr. Farshid from the University of Hertfordshire. The associate professor says the glove helps overcome the hand and wrist damage typically associated with strokes.
The hand and wrist are in an abnormal position. The hand is fully closed and the wrist is flexed. And what we want to do is we want to try to open the hand and flex and extend the wrist so that people can regain a normal posture of the hand and wrist, and then they can practice the therapy. The glove that we designed provides some offset forces, so the fingers are pulled open and the wrist is pulled into full extension.
The glove has sensors that allow therapists to monitor patients' progress remotely. System integrator Naila Rahman says this helps patients treat themselves once they've left hospital.
The user to train in their own time. The user can train first thing in the morning, late in the evening when they come home from work, basically, and they're not tied up to the therapist's availability.
Captured data helps patients tailor the therapy using specialized video games. So what does Shani Sharma think of Script?
Advantage of having this when I was in rehab. It's very boring when you just sit at a table and take out a ball from a box and put it down on the table next to you.
Part funded by the European Commission, more investment is required before the prototype is perfected, but it could be ready within 2 years. Dr. Farshid says each glove will cost less than $10,000 and could revolutionize the treatment of acute stroke sufferers. The perils of navigating while on a motorbike are obvious. Drivers can't read maps, as that would mean taking their eyes off the road. So, Russian engineers have invented LiveMap. That's a GPS helmet which displays simple navigation tips on the visor. The CEO, Andrew Archsev, got the idea from fighter pilot technology. The Android-based lightweight helmet contains GPS and voice control. It heads-up translucent display system and allows riders to access navigational information without looking away from the road. LiveMap was developed with a $250,000 grant by the Russian Ministry of Science. The final version will be unveiled in the United States in May and go on sale in August, costing $2,000 apiece.
Most device makers try to manufacture devices that will cater for different levels of income earners, with the exception of Apple that has a clear niche of the sort of markets they serve. Phones referred to as flagship phones come at a premium, while the mid-level phones are referred to as budget phones and the entry-level phones. Today on Tech Trends, we present you 4 budget smartphones and some of their core features. In no particular order, we start with the HTC Desire 310, a budget phone that looks good indeed. It has a neat, slightly curved plastic build quality and a number of few features that you'll find on a flagship phone. It is powered by quad-core MediaTek at 1.3 GHz and comes with 512 MB RAM. It has a 5 megapixel and a 1080 pixels rear camera with a screen size of 4.5 inches. Other features include Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.0, 3G, 4GB micro SD expandable by up to 32GB at a battery life of 2000 MHz. While on the downside, the camera is not so impressive and the pixels aren't so catchy when playing games or watching movies. HTC can certainly do better in its future budget phones. Let's take a look at Microsoft Lumia 535, which is basically an upgrade of the Lumia 530 with some improvements. The phone comes with a 1.2 GHz quad-core processor and is supported by 1 GB RAM, which comes with a storage size of 8 GB, but you can upgrade to 128 GB via micro SD card plus 15 GB cloud storage when you activate OneDrive. The screen size is 5 inches, and like the HTC Desire, it comes with a 5 megapixels rear camera, but then it goes a step further with a built-in autofocus and LED flash. The edge it has as a budget smartphone is the fact that it also comes with a 5 megapixel front-facing camera, better known as Lumia Selfies. It is indeed a budget smartphone that will get the job done as long as you do not mind using the Windows operating system. Also, for the Sony Xperia M2, it has an attractive interface, key features and a good battery life. It comes with a quad-core processor, 8 megapixels camera and 4G LTE support. Packed behind the screen is a 1.2 GHz quad-core Snapdragon 400 processor with a 1 GB RAM and 8 GB of internal storage, as well as a micro SD up to 32 GB. The M2 camera comes out as a mid-range phone winner with 8 megapixels, but unfortunately the resolution, like most budget phones, just gives you an okay experience when watching movies. The last and not the least is the Samsung Galaxy Core Prime, a budget phone without all the whistles. It comes with a quad-core 1.2 GHz Cortex-A53 processor, Adreno 306 graphics card, 1 GB of RAM, 8 GB built-in storage with a micro SD card slot. Other features include 5 megapixels rear camera and 2 megapixel camera for selfies front-facing. The 4.5 inches display is quite low at just 480 by 800 pixels. It certainly does lack the ambition to be a top-range smartphone, and that's why it comes at an affordable price that will get the job done. Budget smartphones may not be for everyone, but they are available to ensure that just about anyone can enjoy certain features and functions of flagship phones, plus the fact that they get some prestige for carrying a smartphone.